video game player yourself, what do you think made The Last of Us Season 1 so satisfying?
Well, I didn't play the game,
Mm.
so I can't really comment from that perspective. Although one of my friends who did play it was like, there were so many scenes that were pulled straight out of the game when they adapted it into the show, and I'm like, that is amazing. I love that that happened because I mean, can you think of any other, especially horror video game, but really any video game adaptation that's done that? Because usually it's like, oh, we took a couple, if you're lucky, we took a couple characters and they look like they do in the video game, and now they're in the movie. You're welcome. Like, they usually don't take the time to do such a close adaptation. So I think that that was a really great way to honor the fans of the games, and it made me want to play the games even more. I actually
Yeah,
do own the game. I just haven't played it
you
because
haven't
I
got round to it, yeah.
love it
Fair
so bad.
enough.
But yeah, I loved it because I mean, I love the father daughter connection. Obviously, it was a really good emotional drama as well as a horror story, and of course the special effects are horrifying. I think I might have like a phobia of like a plant horror phobia, because the ruins also really like messed with my head for a couple days after I saw it.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, where like the plants are crawling in their skin. Like, I had nightmares for 3 nights that I had the roots crawling inside of me, and I woke up like, and so yeah, the plant or the fungus horror, I should say, in that so much really great body horror in the series. Um, but also,
Yeah.
without giving anything away, that last episode was such a brilliant plot twist. I don't think that anyone who hadn't played the games knew exactly what was going to happen. I definitely didn't know it was going to happen. And so that
Yeah.
really makes me excited whenever a story raises the stakes at the last minute, does executes a really well done plot twist, and then also stays true to the characters, and doesn't have any characters holding the idiot ball or doing things that are completely out of character just to make the story work.
Hmm.
Yeah, like the decisions that the characters make in the last episode feel very true to who they are. So yeah, I think the first season was so good, and then of course the fallout of that episode and how they're going to tie up those plot lines is a huge mystery. I mean, at least to the people that haven't played the games like me. So I'm excited to see where it goes and what's going to happen.
Someone coming in from the outside, I would say generally casuals like me have been satisfied because some of the things you said, I think it just works as a really good, like, engrossing drama. There's tense horror scenes in it, but I don't think they overdo the horror scenes. I think they build up to them and they hit at the right moments and they're well done. But I think if they did them too often, you would maybe lose that sort of suspense. There's some great horror direction, obviously the father daughter stuff is brilliant. So I mean, all that's there for me, but it seems like even fans of the games are like satisfied. It seems like, I think for most people, you're always going to get critics, and I think you're always going to have people from the games who have played them who will criticize certain things. But I think by and large, the people who have played the game seem pretty much on board, and they seem to accept that to adapt it onto TV, you do have to make certain changes. And I don't know if this is something you agree with, but something I think is a little bit of a difference with, and it's something I've heard other people say, but I think one of the differences is that when you're playing a game, in a way, it's you who have to figure things out. It's you who has to do all this, and you're going through so many hours, a bit like you're solving a puzzle in a way. But in theory, when you're watching a movie or a TV show, that does the work, but then you can obviously put your own feeling on it, what you think about what's going on and stuff. And I think that's one of the crucial differences is you're not doing the work so much. Like, it's not you in control of the narrative so much as you would be when you're playing the game. So
Yeah, I think that's why there are some games that it would just be so difficult to adapt, even though the games were very popular, like Portal. Although I don't think that would be
okay.
impossible, because I like the tutorial aspects. Sorry for those who haven't played the game. Again, it's very old, but you know how the tutorial is actually evil AI and it's manipulating the user. I think that'd be fun to see in a movie, but I don't think that there's any possible way you can recreate that experience because it's so. It feels like a betrayal when you're playing the game and you find out the tutorial is, you know, evil and it's manipulating you. And I mean, not like in a negative way. When I was playing it and found out, I was just like, "Oh, this is so cool!" Like I was nerding out so hard.
The first series has just nailed it. Like, it's got that balance of, it's created certain things for dramatic effect, and because, you know, telling a story on TV over a few episodes, over, like, it was like a 9 episode first season, is very different from the way a video game functions. Because I think I heard that third episode, the one where they do like the flashback, and most of the episode is in the past with those other two characters. I think I heard that was something they came up with for the show. I don't think those characters are actually in the game. And yeah, I think that episode is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I love that episode. So
I heard the characters in the game, but you never meet that
you never
character.
actually meet them,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, I thought that was great too. I loved that and the flashbacks. I think that was a really good decision to have that storyline. Yeah, so that is the rare example of they took all the things that people from the game loved. They adapted certain iconic images from the game like almost perfectly, and they actually added stuff that was good instead of like, you know, being filler or whatever, or being some screenwriter's chance to show off. Like it was something that genuinely added to the overall story and the theme of the story, which to me at least it's about love. Like the if you want to
Yeah,
kind of simplify it to its absolute core, it's a love story. Like the
yeah,
whole series is like different types of love. So, so yeah, so I think that that's probably one of the reasons why everyone is so satisfied with it, game lovers and regular folk like us, because uh, they adapted everything and then they also added good stuff as well. So, like it seems like they really understood the game and were passionate about it.
yeah.
Or at least if they're not, they fooled me. But I imagine that they had to be to do such a good job.
Yeah, well, I know they had quite a lot of interaction with the people involved in the game, so it seemed like they did work quite a lot together to come up with the best possible version on TV. So that really seemed to pay off. I know they kept the music from the game for the opening titles, which is a nice little touch as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't really think there was a bad episode in the first season. It's just that obviously some episodes you're naturally going to enjoy maybe more than others. I mean, one which I thought was quite underrated was the one with the two girls in the past when they're in the mall, and I
Yeah.
thought that was really interesting and really just a fun kind of look at what it would actually be like. Because I think one of the fun things about L to explore is the fact that things that we take for granted in every day, like when they're going on the escalator and she's never been on an escalator before, and it's like it's moving, it's I'm going up, and just that stuff, you know. I think that's something because of her upbringing and because she is so young, and in a way she doesn't know anything else apart from this post-apocalyptic world that she's been brought up in. So I think that's one of the reasons I really like that episode.
Yeah, that was such a great episode. That's just really good world building to show all of these things, like you said, that we take for granted, like escalators, and to show their amazement at it. It really makes you feel like you're in this apocalyptic world with these girls that have never experienced these things.
Yeah, and it was quite a clever sort of the fact that so much of the episode was just them talking and they hadn't seen each other for a while, so they're reconnecting. But yet you just know that in the background there could always be a threat. But it was quite clever that it was just in the background a lot of the episode until it finally came out. And like the horror in that episode didn't take so much of the focus. What do you hope for the second season of The Last of Us? Is there anything you would like to see?
I want to have 9 episodes of them just traveling and having fun adventures, and nothing bad happens, and nobody important dies. No.
Well, you can have 7 episodes because it's a 7-episode season. Bit shorter this time, but
already disappointed. No,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the secret that happens in the last episode's got to come out, and that's gonna break my heart, and that's gonna have some major repercussions. But having said that, even though I know it's gonna break my heart, it has to happen. And if it didn't happen, that would be disappointing because, the rule of drama is that if there's a big secret, it has to come out. You can't just, not. So, yeah, that's my only expectation, is that they're going to resolve that plot line and that hopefully it'll hit emotionally just as hard as the first season. Just hurt me. I just want the season 2 to hurt me like the first one did. That's all.
Yeah, I'm confident. I know they're bringing in new characters and new cast. I know Catherine O'Hara's involved, who's a bit of a legend. Every time she's in something, she always delivers. I don't know exactly. I think she might be playing Joel's mum or something like that. So maybe we'll be getting some flashbacks of that stuff, possibly. Something like that anyway. And I know they have added a few new characters and cast members, and because it is such an expansive world. I know in the games there's a lot of other characters, so yeah. As long as the writing can stay consistent, I think there's definitely material there for like 3 or 4 seasons, potentially. So excited to see what they come up with.
Oh, you want to start or what? Let's try something different. You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud. I'm not bound by my... Say the thing you're afraid to say. Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. What did you do?